You asked for it, and I'm going to give it to you. What is the difference between the Worth Clear strings versus the Worth Brown strings? All right, that's going to do it for this video. You should now hear the difference between the Clear and the Browns. Of course, I'm kidding. We're going to dive into these things a little bit more. But first of all, I'm Terry Carter. This is Ukelikethepros. Thanks for being here. And why did I decide to do this video? Because one, Worth strings are one of the best strings on the market, one of the most highly used strings on the market. But it's like, why do they make a Clear fluorocarbon set and a brown fluorocarbon set? There must be a difference, and in this video we're going to show you, tell you, and you can hear for yourself what the difference between these two strings are. By the way, I got exactly the same instruments for both these tests, which is a Kala Mango Tenor, KAMG-T. These are both the strings and the ukuleles available at the #1 store, which is store.ukelikethepros.com. These Worth are both fluorocarbon strings. So even though these are Clear and these are brown, they're both fluorocarbon strings. These are great strings, high quality, made in Japan. A couple tips here, a couple things here about the Worth strings. Just in case you don't know, I'm going to hit you to them right now. These are made in Japan. All the Worth strings, doesn't matter if it's these tenor strings, the concert strings, the baritone strings, the 6 strings, the 8 strings, they're all fluorocarbon. What that means is no wound strings. So if you get a pair of Worth, they're all going to be all fluorocarbon strings. Pretty cool. 2, they all come with twice as much string as you need. That means you cut the strings in half and you have 2 sets. So every package has actually 2 sets of strings. And the next difference is the difference between the tenor scale length, which is 63 on the package, and the soprano concert 46 is just how long the strings are. They're exactly the same string. So, whoops, that's falling there. So anyway, I guess that's a little bit of information for you on the Worth strings. Now let's dive into the Clear fluorocarbon versus the brown fluorocarbon Worth strings. So you can already hear the difference between the Clear and the brown strings. I appreciate you being here. Leaving a comment below, smashing the like button if you're digging this video, and also sharing this video. Now, what strings am I using? I'm using the Clear tenor strings. These are the CT Clear Tenor 63, and 63 has to do with the overall length, and that's why I mentioned earlier you can cut these in half and get twice as many strings as you want. These are the medium strings, okay? So they come in light, medium, heavy. I usually sell the mediums at my store, the #1 store online, store.ukelikethepros.com. These are the BTs, the brown tenor 63, which is 63 again, being the overall length. You cut them in half, you get 2 sets per pack. These are both actually, and I should have mentioned this earlier, strung with high G, in case you didn't figure that out already. So, all right, what is the difference between these? Let me go ahead and break that down. All right, so there seems to be a lot of information out there. Yes, I do a little research before I do these videos. Some sites, some videos say that the strings are exactly the same. One's clear, one's brown. Some say that one is thicker than the other. So, Well, what is the difference? The thing with Worth is there's not a lot of information out there, especially on their website. They don't give a lot of the details that you may need to know. But I will tell you this. If you're looking at the Clear, the first string A says 0.57. The second string says 0.66. The third string, 0.74. Now, the fourth string I don't have because I have the low G set here with me, but that's okay. Don't worry about the fourth string because guess what? It's exactly the same. Because if I go to the Browns, look at this. It says the same thing. 0.57, 0.66, and 0.74. Now, are the strings different and they just use the same packaging because they want to have to print stuff up? I'm not sure, but they do feel slightly different, and I'll get into that in a second. But let's talk about just the fluorocarbon strings here. I meant clear fluorocarbon strings. To me, these are typical fluorocarbon strings. They sound great. They're nice and they got a nice wide open sound to them. They kind of got a nice bite to them, some nice clarity. They got some nice projection. Now, these particular strings, compared to the Browns, and I'll talk about that in a second when I get the Browns out, but they do feel a little less like tight. So they do feel like maybe they're just, the gauge of them does feel a little lighter on these particular clear ones. All right, let me grab the Browns because what they say, what the forums say, what all those things say, and I want you to decide by leaving a comment below, is the Browns are a little warmer sounding than the Clear. So I don't know, are they? I'm going to have you decide right now. So these are the Browns. Now, what I've noticed with them, they do feel a little tighter compared to the Clear strings. Do they sound warmer? All right, so to me, they definitely don't have quite as a wide open sound as the Clear ones do. And it does feel like they have a little bit more mid-range sound to them. So would that make them warmer? Yeah, I think that would. But again, they do feel a little tighter. Now, from what I gather, and if I'm wrong, let me know, leave a comment below. The only difference really between these strings is the brown coloring, the pigmentation that they put into it to make them brown. Now, again, we've talked about are there difference in the diameter of them, the string gauge of them. That's to be determined, but they do feel a little bit denser, a little bit tighter. So, all right. Now, if you're digging anything we're doing, you want to get better at the ukulele, besides getting these, I know you can get this ukulele, the strings, everything at store.ukelikethepros.com. But if you want to get better at the ukulele, that's where my ukelikethepros.com comes in. Over 20 courses of premium membership. Go check it out. We got a bunch of free stuff as well. Just get into the program, get into Uke Like the Pros Nation, and we'll help you become a great player. All right, are you ready to hear the difference? Let's do some A-B testing. I got some backing tracks. Let's get down, let's have a little bit of fun, and then you can really hear the difference between the Clear and the Brown Worth strings. All right, so there's a little strumming for you. Let's do one more piece of the finger picking, a finger style piece, and really see what you hear. Don't forget, leave a comment below what you think of the Clear versus the Brown. All right, so now you heard some strumming, some finger picking. You really hear the difference between the Clear fluorocarbon Worth strings and the brown. What do I think about which one do I like? I actually did hear a video. I do some research on these. I checked the internet, checked the forums. I'll watch some YouTube videos as well before I do my video. Someone said that the browns are a little bit nicer for some finger picking. And I gotta say, I'm gonna agree with that. It actually has got a nice warm sound to it. So they're both great strings, high quality, Worth strings. By the way, thanks for smashing the like button and all that kind of stuff, leaving the comments and sharing this video. But I like the fluorocarbon strings when I'm strumming. I do like the real nice, big, open sound. But the browns do give a little bit more of a mellow tone. And it does sound really nice when you're finger picking. So you can get the Worth strings. Don't worry. They come in low G as well if you want low G. These happen to be the high G ones. And these ukes, anything else you need at store.ukelikethepros.com, the #1 store online for all your ukulele needs. And also, if you liked any of those pieces I was playing, I teach all that stuff over at ukelikethepros.com. So anyway, thanks for being here. If you want to connect with us, check us out over on Patreon page. You can check us out on Instagram and wherever else. Just Uke Like the Pros. It's all Uke Like the Pros. So anyway, I appreciate you being here. I'm Terry Carter, and that's going to do it. I will see you next time.